And welcome back to another mukbang episode of The Careful Boys. And just in case you don't know why we have no correlation to what we're eating and what we usually talk about in the videos, it's really because we have really bad logistical skills. So we have to cram in a bunch of quota content for you guys in a short amount of time. And this is our lunch. We take no breaks here. Our employers don't give us any...
Jailers?
Our jailers, yeah.
Yeah, but I buy you guys nice snacks like, hey, you like this one, don't you? I got you this.
Well, those are good.
Hey, I got you this. I got you this. I got you guys this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we like this now.
Yeah,
Okay.
see?
Oh wow, those are fire.
Oh, you ever had this one?
Takoyaki balls?
These are good. Yep.
Fine. We're good for one more day.
Oh, you guys like healthy? You guys like beef, BBQ, barbecue, beef, jerky
I think those
barbecue?
are arguably an interesting health.
Exactly.
Yeah. But in our last video, we actually talked about what makes America great. Number one, absolutely the best country in the world.
Yep.
You can have 3 burritos in one day.
Inarguable.
However, in this video, we're going to talk about what makes America just the absolute worst country.
That's funny.
The worst? Trump.
That's why what some people would say.
I would say, I don't know if it's actually America, but there's this book called like Diary of a Corporate. Oh, it slipped my head now. But basically, this motherfucker goes out and they they get third world countries in debt on purpose.
George Soros.
Oh yeah.
Like that kind of motherfucker, right?
Yeah. They'll put like a water infrastructure in there that they can't pay them back for.
Yeah,
and
like,
yeah.
so it's not technically America, but it's co-signed by America because it's a private company.
Yeah.
They're like, man, there's a name for it, but yeah, they like sabotage all this shit and the covert shit that we do that like deliberately ruins other nations and shit. I'm just like, man, I wish we didn't have to do that. I wish we didn't have to, you know.
The clever way too is how some of those things actually improve the nation in order to own it. Like what China's doing with parts of Africa.
That's a tactic called like soft power or some shit like that. Where
we're like, we'll bring stability to your economy.
Yeah.
And we'll give you resources you've never had in your lives. But in turn, you're gonna owe us so much debt that we're gonna own the entire place.
No.
Yeah, rough.
Or like the military-industrial complex.
Yeah,
so
that
it's
part's
like
kind of shit.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
it's like corrupt groups within the U.S. government that uses our tax dollars and all that shit to go out there and make money, and it doesn't even benefit the people of the country.
Yep.
Nope. Or us. It benefits the the government.
Yeah. Or the people that are using the government and cheat, like exploiting it. Because that's the thing, is like, the way I see it is, I don't see this as like people in the government. I see it as like different groups that seize control of different departments.
Yeah.
And they're exploiting it.
It's a both. Like you could be defense, the Secretary of Defense.
Yeah.
And then you immediately go work for Northrop Grumman.
Yeah, that shit.
The public to private sector jump over is crazy. Yeah. True. But, I mean, it is cool that like any family who's able to fucking work it that hard can eventually get in.
if you want corrupt, if you want to be that corrupt.
But how funny is it that like you can't even be the same family member for a sweepstakes if the sweepstakes person's running it? You can't even like win that prize. But in our government, it's the most common thing ever to just turn over, churn right into from government to private sector that you were just directly affecting.
Yeah.
Absolutely wild.
Can't even win. You can't have two family members have Park Place and Boardwalk for the McDonald's monopoly.
Exactly right. And they still manipulated that one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's a lot of fugazes.
Yeah.
And I know every country misspends and is corrupt with their tax collections, but like, damn, America's is pretty fucking bad.
Oh yeah, we spend like a Persian prince, dude.
Yeah.
Crazy. I'm surprised our politicians don't have fucking white tigers and shit.
Yeah.
Well, they're all rich though. Like from just being in public service.
That's what I don't understand.
Millionaires. People aren't outraged every day they wake up.
But it's like, it happens either way. Like, look at what happened to Oakland. Oakland's mayor? Mm-hmm. She wasn't a fucking, she was supposed to be the the power of the people like manifested. And then she fucking scammed the shit out of Oakland.
Bribes.
Hardcore.
Yeah.
Not even bribes. They had a racket planned. Her husband and her.
Yeah.
To steal the money, literally, and do a whole fucking thing to jack Oakland's.
Remember Bell County, California? Same shit. The whole city council was just ripping off the whole state. And they were doing it for years and years before.
They were making more money than the president.
Yep. They're paying themselves 6 salaries and always voting on increases and never did shit for the people.
Because corruption happens like worldwide. But I think I expect more out of people here for some reason.
But there's no accountability.
Yeah, there's none.
None.
Yeah, and then when people get caught and it becomes a thing, it just kind of dissipates.
Well, look at the LA fires. Where's the accountability there?
Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
But then they did a good job with making people fight amongst each other about who's at fault.
Yeah.
That fucking worked. Because now we can't even say that Gavin Newsom did it, because then someone's going to come after us that lives next door to be like, how dare you? Like, you can't claim that the fire department did something wrong or that the leadership there was wrong. You can't claim anything.
Remember the live newscast where the news guy was like, I think we showed it on this show, but the news guy's like, that's not true. They're saying that they're out of water. That is completely untrue. Let's cut to the firefighter. And the firefighter's like, we're out of fucking water, dude.
Just don't have water.
We don't have any water. That was incredible. Is that guy still employed? Probably.
And then how, like, the end argument is like, no matter what you criticize about the system with the fires, someone is right there to say, guys, a fire this size, no matter what, couldn't have been stopped anyway, so don't even bother.
Oh, really? Then how do you explain many of the other fires?
If one person died or even one house extra went up, then it should be fully investigated from top to down. But people, you're right, people don't do that. They just excuse it.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, but
I'm sure that this is obviously there's great stories that come from this too, but something that I don't personally like about America is that everything is so like the fear of lawsuits makes things really weird sometimes.
I was just thinking
that's a good one. Yeah.
There's no limit to litigation.
Yeah.
You could be fucking sued for billions, dude.
And on top of that too, if you have the money and the power, then it doesn't even matter who's right or wrong anymore.
Yeah.
You could just stall in court forever and then just
And you have access to better lawyers.
Yeah.
Like, you're just in a more leveraged position regardless.
I hate how our system's not about right or wrong. It's all about, it's a money play. Yeah. It's like, how long can you exhaust someone so they can't fight anymore?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the lawyers themselves realize that extending the lawsuit benefits both sides of just the litigation side. So they don't give a shit what happens to you as a plaintiff.
That shit sucks.
I think the prison shit is kind of, I mean, it's more than kind of bad. But that American prison system racket's pretty fucking...
The private prisons?
Yeah, it's pretty fucking impressive, yeah.
I think our healthcare system's fucked up
That's the only thing for me right now.
because of how infiltrated they are by, like, pharmaceutical cartels.
Well, we're not fixing the root of the problem. We have sick care. We don't have health care. It's just a business at this point.
Yeah.
The thing that's interesting is, like, let's say that you're put in a position really high in the fucking government and they tell you, hey, we don't give a fuck. The mission is just that America's #1. So it's almost like, yeah, you're going to fuck over a lot of people in a lot of really messed up ways that maybe your own population is going to disagree with. But at the end of the day, if you're not being invaded and you're not going, you know, like, people's way of life still is somewhat livable. I don't know. It's hard. It's like, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's true.
But I'm wondering how long can the empire stay #1? Like, if you resort to these tactics, like, for example, let's say we have half of the population that's obese, right? Then you're not going to have a long living, strong, healthy population.
Yeah.
If you have half of them on drugs, how long can that empire last, right? So that's kind of what I'm thinking about is, like, you know how they're like saying China TikTok? All the children there, and this goes to another gripe I have is education, but all the children there, their algorithm shows them doing astronaut shit, all that. And what do we got? Like fucking twerk videos and shit, right? So,
Because we don't watch enough space in the algo. If we watch more space, it would give us more space.
That's why I think TikTok should be banned.
Hey, what's up, guys? Just in case you've noticed some of these lovely jade pieces on some of our men here, just know that you can get some for yourself over at thejadejewelers.co. Visit our friends here at the site and check out some of the pieces they've got. The selection is massive. You can find all kinds of different designs, and they even do some custom work. So if you want to check them out, we'll be very grateful. We love these guys over at Jade Jewelers, and we're happy for you guys to be able to get the same stuff.
Because you think that it's.
But then something will take its place, though. That's
I don't even know if
Xiao
it's-
Hongshu.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know who really thinks TikTok should be banned? Facebook. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
that's part
obviously.
of the whole thing too. It's like, you know,
until they own it.
eliminate my competition, please.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's what I feel like China's doing though. You're right, let's send you left stuff. If you're left, let's send you rights. Let's hate each other. Fighting against each other in our own country. China's like, hee hee.
We do that on our own pretty good.
Yeah.
I do think that the American idea of like, let's preserve societal values is a fucking fugazi. Because look at Pornhub. Look at that rack. Like, have you ever watched or seen any documentaries on who owns Pornhub and the scale at which Pornhub owns every other fucking porn
Wow.
site? Like,
It's that group Genius or whatever the fuck it's called. What's that one?
it used to be Mind.
That's Mind Geek. That's what it is.
But then MindGeek got bought by another company that is basically in a way itself. They just wanted to get rid of the reputation that they had that they were putting underage material.
right.
But then the amount of they said per day, the amount of content that ends up viewable is it would take you 156 years to watch what gets uploaded in one day.
Crazy.
And
That's a lot
this
of
is all
porn.
stuff that's being sold for ads and ad space, and they're not doing anything about it.
Yeah.
So think about that. Like if they're so concerned about TikTok, but they can't put a leash on that shit.
Yeah.
You don't think that's detrimental to societal health?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
But they don't care.
Nice. Sick burn.
Yeah, I wonder why our education's so bad too.
Well, I've talked about this a bunch of times, but I think it's because, you know, for example, easy example, when they wanted to simplify the tax code, guess who stepped in to keep it the way it is? TurboTax. Because that would really screw things up for them if tax was simplified. And what if the IRS just sent you what you owed? Because they already know.
Yeah.
Like they know how much you owe, so which is so wild. So like, but hey, there's a whole huge multi-billion-dollar industry that's based on how complicated the tax code is.
Yeah.
And keeping it complicated is good for business. So
It's like kind of what Tesla did to car dealerships
what do they do?
because they cut it out. You
right.
just buy a Tesla at the price that the price is. Yeah. There's no middleman with like a whole like haggling shit. It's just you just buy it.
So crazy.
I like that though.
I like that too.
But it fucked that whole industry in a different way.
Right.
Bringing it back to the other topic that you brought up earlier, that rapper chick who was like 489
Yeah.
pounds, who's trying to sue Lyft for a multi-million-dollar lawsuit because she claimed it was discrimination that when she ordered a regular Lyft car, the guy looked at her and was like, "No, like you can't fit in my car." You
In my
have to-"
sedan.
Yeah.
But also, isn't weight not a part of the law?
Well,
It's not a part of the discriminating
It's not- yeah.
law.
You can't refuse service based on someone's
Basically, correct.
You cannot refuse.
I think that's.
What if you had a Mini Cooper?
No, I thought you
no,
can't.
lawyer said
The guy
I thought
yeah,
you can't.
It's not part of being
It's not
discriminating.
part of it.
No
like your
way.
race, your gender, and your identity.
yeah. Those
Can't-
are
those are-
discrimination.
How come the fucking airline has to give them an extra seat?
I don't think they do.
No, they don't.
They don't have
They
to.
end
They're
up
just
buying.
virtue signaling.
One of the lawyers said if it's a health and safety hazard for her and the driver. Oh. Yeah.
What was the story? Like she couldn't fit? Or the driver was like,
She ordered an Uber.
You would have had to take out
She's
a
almost
whole
like
seat.
400 pounds.
She's 489 pounds or some shit. She's a rapper.
how can you even be that big?
Also,
Dude, the comments are crazy. They're saying, dude, you should.
also like the fact
it
that we
wasn't
have to
Lyft.
add
You
on
need
the
to
fact
you
that
need
she's
to
a
order a
rapper.
forklift.
I saw that.
Yeah, they were. Oh my god, it was vicious. Yeah.
How did she get in the car?
That's exactly.
She didn't.
She couldn't.
So the driver refused.
Also, if let's say you're a Lyft driver and knowing that you will not be compensated for damage to your car if you overloaded in this obtuse way,
I mean-
would you still take it?
And also, like,
She needed to be in a truck bed.
yeah.
Or like get a helicopter or something.
Or like, what happens
got
if she can't
fired,
put the
I think.
seatbelt on?
He got fired?
He got
fired or something. I think.
Well,
Yeah,
he
which
can
is
sue
crazy.
now.
He should.
Did she order a XL though? Because you know how you could choose like XL or regular.
She didn't.
It wasn't an XL. It was a. 'cause
So
it was
that motherfucker showed up in a little Mini Cooper.
No, yeah,
it's a
basically sedan, but yeah,
Well, it's a Mini Cooper to her.
Same.
yeah, to her it's the same thing.
And he was just like, oh, this is not gonna work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he wasn't an asshole about it.
No,
Yeah.
he wasn't.
He's like, Miss, you just don't fit. You're too big. You're too fucking big. That's what he said.
But in Hawaii, if you do that
And
in
then he
Hawaii, it should work.
suggested that
'cause you get a
she-
truck, you just open up the truck bed, and she can hop in the
Yeah.
back. If you're in Hawaii, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, what he did was he suggests that she just walk. Because that would be more helpful.
Oh my god.
Dude, no lie, that is definitely more helpful. Get the calories down, start burning.
He's all, can you just pick up my car? Can I ride with you?
At 400 pounds, though, do you think they can walk 20 steps?
No.
I think they can walk 20 steps
She had to walk 20 steps to get to the car.
to get outside, probably.
No, she probably took the elevator, which is 2 steps.
Took the elevator.
21 is too much though.
But imagine if she's in a flood zone, dude, and they got one of those choppers out there.
No, it wouldn't work.
That would change the whole
But
game.
imagine, like, that's a part of our country's culture, right? Like, you could be that fucking fat, right? And then when somebody's like, no, like, please don't come in my car, you're like,
sue them?
fuck you, that's discrimination. I want multi-millions of dollars for this.
Yeah. And the fact that you can be that fat and complain about this, and you have a lot of people fighting for you.
Yeah.
And you can be that fat, and you call 911, and then they gotta cut you out of your house. That's is one of the reasons why I love America.
I'm actually like not that for too much regulation, but when it comes to food, I'm now that I like learned so much shit about it, I actually think we need to ban so many things. Like,
But
they add sugar in everything, and that's like we have this obesity problem because there's not a lot of regulation of what we're allowed to sell. Because it's like, oh, it's a free country, you can buy and eat whatever you want, right? But like, that's where I kind of draw the line of like, this can also be a drug. Like, children shouldn't be drinking so much sugar.
Yeah, but you should also be able to self-regulate.
that's
I
the main
agree,
thing.
Like,
but
there's a point. There comes a point where you gotta have some
also,
sort of
too,
like.
there's such a
autonomy.
bunch of bullshit about, like, for example, apple juice. Like, kids drinking fucking apple juice all day. Like,
Yeah.
that is just pure sugar.
Sure.
But then they think it's healthy because
should have, like,
in America we
school
teach them that that's healthy
Yeah.
for some reason.
Yeah, the education behind it sucks.
because you know
There's a sale.
they don't have the food pyramid anymore, but they released like 3-4 years ago a new updated version, and they were showing how like they did this on Joe Rogan, but Fruit Loops was just as good as an apple because it was like fortified vitamins and shit like that. And they're like, how is that even
Well,
real?
here's the most interesting part. Let's say that you finally get up into a point in politics where you can make that call, right? Surprise, everybody that has a hand in big sugar and big this, those are all the power players that keep the economy rich
Yeah.
with money.
And then they just attack you.
Exactly. So like, even if you were to, are you willing to like sacrifice the financial health of regions that you're responsible for so that people can have better physical health? Maybe they will. You don't even know if it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Dude, RFK is getting the most hate I've ever seen
we'll
in a
see
long
with
time.
RFK.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
what industries is he disrupting? Yeah.
He's probably gonna disrupt seed oils, processed like foods and stuff like
The
that.
food ties. He already got.
the
He
food
already got
ties.
red number 5 taken out.
But the funny thing is they pre-did it before he even got in.
I just wish the racket would adjust the same way that big tobacco got into vapes when they realized they weren't going to win against vapes. You know what I mean? Because if they just fight against it the whole time and they're still like, no, everyone smokes cigarettes, like you're not going to win.
It's like the taxis. Remember the taxis against Uber?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, when the medallions were getting like worthless. Yeah, the same thing. So
Because
like,
I'm gonna sound boring as fuck, but I actually think the way that we view sugar should be similar in the way we view beer and
No.
any indulgences, right? Because like they're all stimulants and they're all like damaging, and also because we're not educated properly on what is healthy and what is not, it becomes super dangerous. Because like if you're told like drink this because it's good for you, drink this orange juice, it's good for you, whatever, and you're doing things following what the government tells you to do, but they've been bought and paid for by big sugar or whatever, and then you end up obese and you're just like, well, I did everything healthy, so they think they're doing everything right.
Look at red meat, dude. It was red meat. Remember food pyramid bullshit? They're like,
Yeah, they told us don't eat red meat, cholesterol's bad,
it's bad.
right?
And then all of a sudden they're like, oops, we found out that the sugar industry paid paid for that advertising campaign.
Because they wanted to sell like low sugar.
They wanted all
low
the focus
fat,
to be on that, so you don't look at sugar.
I think there's also that illusion that I think a lot of people believe that opposites are different factions, where like let's say sugar or healthy. But they don't understand that a lot of the time people own both sides of the fucking game. It's just not time yet to switch.
Yeah.
So like maybe they haven't yet juiced enough money out of doing it the wrong way, and then once it's time, okay, yeah, be healthy. But they still own this shit too.
Yeah.
It's not like a whole different body of people. Like when you look at Johnson & Johnson or whatever, they fucking own the antidote to their own shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People own both. They're smarter than that. They're not going to think that they have to like die on a hill for this one product. Right. There's no way.
And I don't think everything starts nefarious, because like I actually believe a lot of the reasons why we have super processed and shelf stable food is because of the Great Depression.
Yeah.
So like it was a pendulum swing of
Overcorrection.
yeah. Like we're so hungry that now we have to find a way so everyone never becomes hungry.
Yeah.
So you want shelf stable products that'll last forever, and you can feed a huge population. So we come up with all these options. and then-
Right. Like Monsanto shit. But you got to believe that it's the same side, because if you can see wars being fought overseas from each other, and the same guy makes both weapons on
Yeah,
both sides,
that's true.
Of course someone's making food on both sides.
Bro, we were arming the frick Al Qaeda in Syria.
What?
Yeah, exactly. Tulsi Gabbard just got torched on Capitol Hill because she pointed that out. And what's his name from Arizona, the fucking astronaut guy who was on the space station for like a couple years? He was like, why are you repeating Russian propaganda? And it's like, we were literally doing that, brother.
That's so stupid.
Yeah. It's true. And she's just for calling it out. She's getting read the riot act.
Her going against the industrial complex is one of the most interesting things
While
I've ever
being a
seen.
military person.
Legit.
Yeah.
And getting called a traitor for it.
But we all knew that, right?
We only know because we look at that shit. Like Operation Tinder Sycamore was what they were doing. That was how they were arming all these Al Qaeda operatives in Syria. They wanted we were arming Al Qaeda, our sworn enemy, to help depose Assad in Syria.
But
and
we
just for
actually
calling that
trained-
out, she's called a traitor.
Yeah. But we trained Al Qaeda. We built Al Qaeda, and that's not a conspiracy. They were on our side when the Soviet Union was invading Afghanistan. So we armed and trained Al Qaeda, and yeah.
But that's what I think is the most American thing, is that in the same way that she gets called of someone that's parroting Russian propaganda for saying that, is the same way that an Uber driver doesn't want to take that girl, gets called a fat phobic person for not wanting to take on a load that his car can't
Right.
sustain. It's like you just get called the thing that will help whatever initiative these people want.
I see. So you're like gaslit, basically.
I think it's funny that we have to include, and she was a rapper. Like, as if that has no context to the story.
It makes it funnier.
It definitely has context for me.
Does it?
Yeah.
But is she a successful rapper? Like,
Now she is.
Yeah. Now I've heard of her.
infamous.
She's a rapper, get her own vehicle or something.
Yeah, that's true, because she never says a fat hairdresser or something.
Imagine that makes you have a heart